Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I've got these two candy cane wreath forms from the Dollar Tree that I have attached where I'm showing you where I overlapped them. I used 4 zip ties to keep them in place. I did have to bend it a little bit at the top parts, but here I want to show you that there's these 2 inner crossbars, and the 2 inner rings on this crossbar I'm going to attach 1 pipe cleaner to. And I'll do that all the way around. Now this is a very easy beginner-friendly wreath that anybody can make on their first try, and it will look absolutely stunning. So there I was showing you on the crossbar, on the bottom 2 rings, I will be adding a pipe cleaner to each of those crossbars. Now I've got this beautiful plaid pink, blue, and purple ribbon from Craft Outlet. It's 1.5 inches, and I am just making a little bow, like I guess a little bow tie in my hand. And I'm just trying to make sure that the loops are looking well. I believe there's 3 loops on each side and then a middle loop. And then I will create a larger loop and I'll attach all that together in the middle just like that with my pipe cleaner. I gotta make sure that I'm holding on tightly and I have that larger strip of ribbon where I overlapped it into a circle. I make sure that that is very secure. Then I just take the end and cut it to make the 2 tails. Then I'll just fluff out the 3 ribbons on each side to make sure that everything is nice and symmetrical and fluffed out really beautifully. So I have this bunny that came from the Dollar Tree, and that was the bow tie that was on it, but it didn't really fit what I was looking for on this door swag. So I took it off. It came off very easily. It was just glued on there, and then that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bow that I made and I'm going to glue it right back into that same spot where the other bow was. Now I'm just using some Gorilla hot glue, and to me this is the best glue out there. I absolutely love it and I'll be faithful forever. So I have this leftover 21-inch deco mesh. Actually it's a window pane mesh that I got from Craft Outlet. I'd used it on another project a while ago. And I just gather it at the end, and with a zip tie I will attach it to one of the crossbars. Then as I tighten it, I will go ahead and cut off the end of the deco mesh. I really just don't like that. I don't even like to tuck it under, which you definitely can. I just choose not to. And then I take my zip tie gun and cut off the rest of that zip tie. Then I measure 10 inches from that zip tie and I place that first 10 inches in the first inner ring pipe cleaner, and then I just do that all around the inner portion of the wreath frame. And then right where I started is where I end that section of the deco mesh, and then I fluff everything out, which covers up that zip tie. Then I have another spring window pane mesh, also from Craft Outlet, and I'm doing the same exact thing on the outer portion of the ring as I did with the inner portion. So I have some of this mesh, and it's really pretty. You can see how, even though it's got a sheer look to it, it's got an iridescent look. And so what I'm doing is I'm just cutting these down to 10-inch pieces, and then I'll be adding those to each of the pipe cleaners. So I just fold under the first portion of the mesh. Actually, I'm sorry, I think I might have cut it to 20 inches. And then I just ruffle my fingers up, run my fingers up to the opposite side and make a ruffle. And then I just add those into each of the pipe cleaners. Now, mind you, I didn't measure this, but this wreath, this swag, excuse me, because of the size of the candy canes, it is a really wide, so it will definitely fill the pretty close to the whole width of a door frame. Now, once I have all that mesh in there, I've got this 2.5-inch tan and white checkered mesh, and that will go into each and every pipe cleaner. But I have the 1.5-inch the 1.5-inch pink and blue ribbon that I will alternate into each of the pipe cleaners. Now, the checkered one is cut at 14 inches. I apologize. I made this swag several weeks ago, and I don't remember the measurements of the ribbon, but I make one loop at the top, and then at the bottom I make another loop, and I gather it in the middle and just make sure my bow loops are even. I think here I didn't really, I wanted to make my bows just a little bit bigger, my loops on there, and so I think I made it just a little bit bigger there and had to readjust. And so again, just made one loop, then made a bigger loop at the bottom. Here I am cutting the the tails at an angle, and then I'm just getting the ribbon in place so I can place it right on top of that pipe cleaner and have a beautiful pink bow. Now with the rest of the pipe cleaner, I do go ahead and trim it down, and then I will tuck it right behind the bow. Then I like to fluff my bow loops and then make sure my loops on, not my loops, I'm so sorry. Make sure my tails are nice and curled. So with the blue one, it's a little bit different. I fold it in half, and then I make, I think it was a 3-inch loop, and then I attach it to the pipe cleaner, and then I cut the tails at an angle. And I just alternate the 1 loop versus the 2 loop bow throughout the entire swag. So here we are. I've got to prep this bunny head so I can hang it. I wanted to just clip off that little piece of ribbon. I don't need it. We are actually going to use some floral wire to attach to the bunny so we can attach to the wreath. I just have some of this gold floral wire that I think I had got from Hobby Lobby. And I cut a couple of strips off of that, and then I'll place it at the top of the bunny head and at the bottom of the bunny head, just feeding it through some of the fabric. Now I just attach the top portion right where that other ribbon was that I cut off, and it works just fine. But at the bottom portion of the bunny, I have to actually just cut a little hole in 2 different areas so I can feed the wire through. So here I just take the bunny and I'm going to attach it pretty much right into the center at the top of the swag. And then I take my ribbons and I will just create a bow. As you see here, I take some of that ribbon that I used for the bunny's bow, and I just incorporate into the actual bow just so I can tie all the colors in together. I'm really into the whole natural look and the pastel colors I love for spring, and I just think this is really pretty. So once I have it all attached to the pipe cleaner, then I will go back and trim all of my tails. But first I choose to attach it to the wreath frame, and then I'll go back and trim my tails. This is how this adorable rabbit wreath turned out. Very simple, very cute, and you could definitely add more to it, greenery, flowers, whatever you want to do. But this was for a beginner-friendly, easy way to make a swag. Thank you for watching with me today, and I hope you have a very blessed week.